Hello and welcome to CoCreative NoCode's Office Hours, episode number 109. My name is Tonya and I'm your host this evening. We're here with Thomas, who is a member of ours, and also my Kim. And we'll be getting started in just a moment, but if this is your first time tuning into Office Hours, either live on Facebook or watching the replay on YouTube, we do this every day of the week, Monday through Friday, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And office hours are where we invite our members to come to Zoom sessions, and then we happen to broadcast those Zoom sessions live and then put them on YouTube. And the members can come in and ask any bubble question or bring up any bubble topic that they like. And we do our best to answer questions, debug bugs, and do whatever feature requests are posed to us. And our promise is that you don't have to suffer alone. So if you would like to come on to office hours and ask your own questions, see if we can help you out with a tough spot in Bubble, you can go ahead and comment on the live video or on the video on YouTube, or you can email us at team@cocreativenocode.com and we'll get back to you with some credentials and let you know when our next few episodes will be, and you can pop on the Zoom with us. Yeah, it's my favorite time of the week. So every day I get to do this, so I feel blessed. Well, Thomas disappeared. I'm not sure where he went. Here he is. He's coming back. Let's see here. I do want to make an announcement for tomorrow. Tomorrow's episode 110, we have a special guest joining us. His name is Cameron Wilder Booth. There we go. Caught it in my mind. And he's coming to talk to us all about the API connector and getting APIs connected from the beginner's mind. So he was a beginner not that long ago. So he remembers what it's like to stare at API documentation and not really know what to do with it to get the results that you're looking for. And he's managed to slug his way through it several times now. And he's built 2 apps that were heavily based on Google APIs, and he's going to be sharing his expertise and learning experience with us. I'm super excited for that. He'll also be fielding some questions. So if you have any questions regarding your own APIs, definitely pop on tomorrow. Make sure you email us and get us and get some credentials so you can join us tomorrow for the Q&A. Hey, Thomas, what's going on?
Just looking through the Bubble forum.
Got it. Looking for some questions for us to tackle. We did have, let's see here. I can also look through the group. There were a couple questions from the group today. Let's do it.
That's so cool. I'm seeing some interesting stuff popping up on the question form.
Yeah, like what?
Ramping up a lot. Have you noticed that? Like with made with frames, it seems to be. I'm just seeing a lot of Twitter activity. Everyone's really excited.
Yeah, made with frames is pretty cool. We checked that out the other day. I thought it was pretty cool. Let's see here, go through. So we had this question come up today, and Steven wanted to create a quiz within a pop-up, and there's going to be a list of questions. Why is that? I love it when Facebook has bugs. It's like a good reminder that all apps have bugs. Need help, please. I want to create a quiz within a pop-up. There will be a list of questions and either a yes or no answer. How do I get the questions to pop up in a random sequence? Do you know the answer to that question, Thomas?
I was looking at the forum. Can you?
Oh, got it. No worries.
I could just look at it on the forum.
Yeah. Then, yeah, so the way you would do that, I answered, but I'll just go ahead and do it. Is that it? We don't have any repeating groups on the page called repeating groups? Nope, looks like we don't. Okay, so repeating group. The way you get things to show up in a random order is you have a repeating group here, and you're going to have type of content, you're going to probably do a search for that type of content. And you can come here and do random sorting. So that's how you could randomize a list of questions. You'd have a question data type, you'd search for the questions and constrain down to the questions that you want to show. And then you would just sort by random sorting. And then here, the second question, do I need to send data to the pop-up? Well, yeah, one way or the other, you're going to have to have a data source for your repeating group, and your repeating group in this case would go into a pop-up. And in order to send data into a pop-up, so let's say you click on a button, it's going to generate some questions, run a little workflow. Then you want to take that list of questions that you generated and populate them into the repeating group. You can do that with workflow. So here, just have a little button. And on the workflow, when you click the button, you can display a list in that repeating group. And the data source can be whatever list that you have. In this case, I set that repeating group to be of type tally. So I'm sending in a list of tallies, and that would work on that button click. Did you find anything cool for us, Thomas?
I was thinking about if there would be like if it would just be possible to funnel questions in the question section of the bubble forum into, I don't know, Messenger or whatever form of communication, just having a way of having that come to you.
Oh yeah, so we thought about doing that manually with Kim.
Sure.
We kind of,
like,
can I set that up? What do you mean?
Like bubble wise, pardon me.
Oh, like, just to automatically do it?
Sure, yeah.
That sounds like a web scraping thing.
Yeah.
So, and that's probably against the terms of service. Gotcha. And we even stopped doing that because we figured it's probably against the terms of service of Facebook to copy people's posts and stuff, because technically that belongs to Facebook and or the person who posted on Facebook. So yeah, so really that's something we could work on tonight. I could work on cleaning up our requests page and the requests that we have in the database for CoCreative.
Yeah, I'm done. I was thinking though, like even outside of having it just come straight to Facebook, having it to come to you personally, right? So that you can kind of plan around it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, you could say, okay, this question is right up my alley, and you can bring it here and we can talk about it.
Yeah, that would have to go to Kim. I can't field that kind of.
Gotcha.
I can't invite any more notifications. But
what's gonna have to come to me?
No, so Thomas was like for these evenings when he doesn't have any questions and there's no one else on the call, like how might we get some questions to work from? So if that happens to be you watching this live right now, if you have any questions you can toss our way, we'd appreciate it. Give us something to talk about. But we did have another question in here.
Yeah, Thomas, you can send them to me and I can compile them.
Get you to work, girl. Get you to work.
Yeah.
Weird issue. This one, I wasn't sure if it was resolved or not, because I saw he posted in another thread and someone else was having some trouble getting their workflows to load. If you're not familiar with it, Bubble has a status page. And it's very helpful to tell you not just like whether they're up and running, but you can also scroll down and you can kind of see the spikes, like any sort of latency spikes and stuff. And so we found a few times that like when there's a spike here in one of these, like a dramatic one, it tends to correspond with the problems that we're having in our apps. So, but something that struck me about what Mohammed was asking here is in his debugger, there were all of these performance warnings talking about your page has downloaded more than 25.9 megabytes of data via searches. So I had posed the question to Mohammed if he had, if he was running searches within a repeating group, like maybe there were a lot of searches being run. So, and that can definitely slow down your app. So that one, and this one was also a cool question. So someone else answered it. I think I know Andres from AirDev actually. So Mehmet was asking, hello, how can I delete a list of scheduled API workflows by ID? And apparently there's an action called cancel a list of scheduled API workflows. I've never actually played with that, so that could be cool. Let's see if we can find it here. Cancel a list of scheduled API workflows. And how would you find them? I don't even know how you would go about finding them. Let's see, I did see a tweet that was interesting about this as well.
But the
About, so I think it was Andrew Vernon. So Andrew Vernon found a way that he can take, so if you go into, I don't think I have any APIs scheduled. Oh, I do, here. So this is the API workflow ID, and it's the list of these IDs that I think is being asked for in the workflow here. List of scheduled API stuff. So, and this tweet is talking about how he didn't have their ID stored anywhere. So I guess maybe you could store the workflow ID during the workflow, like the API call ID. But he was able to find a Chrome extension called table capture that would take this table here and give you this ID from it so that you could run this list. So let's just make a data type here called APIs by ID. Oh. ID. In this case, it looks like it's a number. I don't know if it should be a text or a number for Bubbles purposes, but we'll do that. And then we'll go into app data, make an entry. Yeah, I call. Okay. All right. What was that?
I was saying I see you clicking around, but I didn't hear you talking.
Oh, yeah, no, I wasn't on mute this time. I was just busy. So, yeah, so what I did was I took these IDs and I made a thing in the database called API calls. And I added the ID in here, and these are numbers, but it might be that I needed to do it in text. We'll find out. But now what I'm going to try to do is cancel those by doing a search for API calls and their IDs. Count contains first. It doesn't seem to want to take that, so I might have needed to do it as text. No. I don't know. Let's see. Let's just go back and do it with the data type. Let's add ID text. And then app data. Data types matter. All right, let's go back to the workflow, search for ID text. There we go. Yeah, I just want it in text format. So when I click the button, what I want to see is after I click that button, if these disappear from this list. So I will go to preview. Click the button, go back to my scheduler show, and they're canceled. Woohoo! So that worked. I had never really thought about like storing the ID of it. I wonder if you have access to it, like when you schedule it. So if I go here and I schedule an API workflow, so I wonder if I do here, if I create a new thing, API call, and I set the ID text to be the result of step 1. Maybe that works. Let's find out. Nope, it didn't work. Oh, well, hang on. Result of step 1's, like it doesn't give us access to. Yeah, I'd be interested to find out like how you can grab that number on the fly. That would be interesting.
I'm sorry, I don't know. Were you speaking to me? I stepped away for a second.
No, I was just commenting. I'd be interested to find out how we can grab the ID of a scheduled API workflow to put in the ID text so that we could manage canceling it outside of like if we need to cancel workflows or manage them outside of like having them run. So
are you not able to do that right now through the field?
Yeah, so I'm able, so here I've scheduled an API workflow. I should be able to grab the ID of this workflow that was scheduled. But I don't know how, is what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
So I know how to go in here and find the, like, if it was still scheduled, I would be able to find its ID. But I don't know how to grab the ID on the fly in the workflows so I can manage it later.
Gotcha.
So, and today was the first time I ever even thought about needing to do, actually, I guess yesterday or whenever this tweet went out. I think this was, yeah. So like on Tuesday was the first time I ever even considered needing to do that. And then this question popped up today. So yeah.
Interesting.
Did you find any questions you want to ask?
Not off the top of my head. I'm disengaged too because I was playing football earlier. So
You were playing football, so you're tired. You're like,
there's little kids wanted to. There's like it's like a dad, and he's got like a little group of school kids or like teenagers.
that's
like,
cool.
I was like, all
Is
right.
it like American football or like football,
Yeah,
soccer,
like
football?
just tag football. They're trying to get a group, like as in like a small team to do. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come support. They're good
Yeah.
support. Nice friends. So. Out of shape though.
Same. COVID has done a number.
You said you wanted to work on the request feature.
Yeah. Okay, I'm looking for my app now in all of these apps. Oh, come on. Bubble.
Too many.
An active agency plan here.
Oh my. How many? You said something around like 84 or something like that, I think.
Yeah, I went through and I counted the rows like not that long ago. It was like 80, 78. And I probably have a couple more now.
Wild.
There's a lot to explore with Bubble.
Yeah.
I mean,
I keep thinking about my research. I should just do it now that I have time.
yes, please. And please come teach us. That would be fun.
That's wrong with it. Do you happen to know who posted? I don't know if you bookmarked that at all, but I'll reach out to him myself and be like, hey, can you pass on some suggestions?
Wait, what are you asking me? Like
You
who?
said there was a guy that had posted on Facebook.
Yes. So
Curious to know who he was because I wanted to reach out to him
I
personally.
think it was in this group. So if you search.
Riley, gotcha.
Search.
I didn't even know you could do that on Facebook.
Yeah.
I am
This one
cool.
here.
Cool.
So if I click on it, it should take me to this post and then I can share it in the chat.
Yep. Sweet.
It won't let me.
It's okay. Yeah, I saw you did the search for, so I'll just do the same thing.
That's cool. Yeah. All right, I'm on the hotfix branch of CoCreative NoCode. I guess it's been two months since I updated my app. It's a long time to go without updating it. All right, so the request page is
I have a
here.
separate question here.
Sure.
I'm surprised Calendly is not on the site. Is it just that I was having was it just my browser or?
You're surprised that I don't have Calendly listed on my site?
Yeah, like directly for you.
Oh yeah, I don't. That's just.
I had a bit of trouble finding that link actually, surprisingly.
Yeah, I give it out sparingly, but it is pretty easy to remember if you ever need to remember my Calendly. It's calendly.com/Tonya.
Tonya's the only one on Calendly.
I kept putting Tonya Aiossa and it didn't work. I was like, what the hell? I can't.
Yeah, no, it's just Tonya. Yeah, with an O. So I was so surprised that, like, I remember back in February of 2016 when I was signing up for Calendly the very first time, I was like, my mind was boggled trying to figure out how they were making it so that my Calendly link was Tonya and didn't conflict with anybody else's. I was like, I thought they were doing some sort of URL magic. because
Gotcha.
I couldn't imagine that I was because they chose it for me. They didn't ask me what I wanted it to be. Because if they'd asked me what I wanted it to be, I would have chosen something else because I would have figured Tonya wouldn't have been available.
The
But
one and only.
the one and only. No, I'm definitely not the only Tonya. Yeah, unfortunately, the famous Tonya is not the one I want to be thought about with in the same thought. But let's see, let's go to the data here. I'm going to go app data and switch to live database. I'm going to clear out our requests.
Oh, you're gonna just clean it out? You've answered all of them, right?
Yeah, I
All
think,
the written ones.
let's see here. What did I call them? They might be called something else.
You have a keyword for what we're doing right now?
Um,
CoCreative site.
Yep, updating CoCreative NoCode. Users, user subscriptions. I think it's questions is the data type. So these are all the different questions.
Requests page.
Yep, the request page is what we're working on. So I think I want to export. Well, first what I'll do. Just in case I'm deleting something I don't want to delete, I will go ahead and export it. And now I will delete it. Okay, so starting from scratch. So that should have cleaned up our requests page on live, which is CoCreative NoCode requests. Should be empty now, and it is. So right now it requires that you log in to do a question. And I am logged in, that's why it's letting me do it. You can add an image. So you can title it, you can add a question, you can add tags, multiple tags if you want to. I think in order to make it more appealing, I want to have the images like an image required, but I don't know if that would keep people from posting. Not that they're posting now anyway. So maybe I have nothing to lose. Because I think that would make it visually more appealing on the page for anybody who shows up, if there's like a screenshot or something. What do you think, Thomas? Do you have an opinion, or did you check out because you're brain dead after football?
Brain dead, to be honest.
Brain dead. You're like, I'm just here. Okay.
Can you repeat what you said?
No, I was just kind of like wondering, and I should also rename the pop-up because standard pop-up is probably not great. So just wondering if I should make adding an image required, because one of the things I noticed with the other, like before when we had a whole bunch of data here, is a lot of them didn't have an image, and it made it a lot of text on the page, basically. So
I don't know. I usually, for example, when I have a problem, I send Loom links like you can't even imagine. So maybe have like a section for Loom links or encourage that sort of thing, just to show people or to have them show you.
Yeah, so I think, I mean, you can insert the Loom links.
That's true.
In here in the question.
Yep.
But this is
I guess like adding an image of like if you're looking at like constraints or something would probably be useful. So
I didn't quite follow.
like adding image, like if you're dealing, like if you're making a request or have some sort of problem, you can update an image showing like specific constraints for specific data type, or if you're trying to run something.
Yeah, like your
Those
screenshots.
features, yeah,
That's what I intended for
yeah.
it. Yeah.
So I don't see anything wrong with it.
Okay. Well, the question was, should I make it required or not?
I get you. Probably not.
No, just leave it optional.
Because if
All
they
right.
can't,
Well, let's change that part.
Because if it was required, then that they couldn't save changes, right?
That's true. They wouldn't be able to submit it without the picture.
Yeah.
But that was kind of what I was going for, though, is what I was saying is that when you don't have the pictures, it ends up being a lot of text on the page.
Okay.
And the pictures would help to break things up. So here, I'll show you if I do. This is a random question. Ask me anything. I had a tag or two. And then I'm just going to put the stencil from tonight and the save changes.
Oh, cool.
So besides that looking really terrible, this looks pretty good. But
all the images render the same size like that?
Yeah, they have to, because this is a set size, I think.
Curious to know if it would be unreadable, like from this perspective.
Yeah, and there's not really a way to click it. Maybe I could add a pop-up so it would open up so you could see it better.
Yep.
Yep.
And you could, toggle between images in that view, perhaps. Probably wouldn't be so easy to do such a thing, but I don't know.
Also, I wonder what it's like if we put multiple pictures.
Oh, yeah.
No, it just lets one. Only one.
You can only do one at a time?
Yep. I just used a single file uploader, not multiple.
Gotcha.
So definitely room for improvement. So let's first take care of this pop-up. And then we can replace by a multi-file uploader.
Any possible way of like positioning, this is off topic, positioning the pop-up a little lower rather than having it closer to the top like it is now? Or are pop-ups just automatically, they have to fit there in that dimension? I don't think I was clear.
Let's see. Yeah, you can't really tell a pop-up where to show up. It's going to show up at the top and in the middle of the page.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's directly in the middle. You know what I mean? It's always just vertically, it is rather horizontally, but not really vertically. There's a lot more white space below than there is above. Which is
You
nothing
mean
wrong
down
with that.
here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's intentional, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't think there's a connection, but maybe because there's a shadow.
I'm working on a smaller pop-up right now for the project that I'm working on, and it's just hugs to the top. But that's not a big deal. That's just me being perfectionist, of course.
Well, I mean, a pop-up is just a group. Like you can you can totally control the group the way that you want it to.
Yeah. I did that before too. I was just wondering with the pop-up.
Has some special properties to it, but it is just a group. So, okay, so I took care of that. Let's take care of the page name. That's also been driving me nuts.
Do you get a lot of people flowing through CoCreative?
I have like 130 plus people signed up to CoCreative NoCode.com.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So it's decent, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay, so that part's done, and then I still think you should be logged in to ask a question. All right.
Is that just to keep track of names?
And to prevent spam.
Bam, gotcha.
Yeah. As I don't have it set up that I'm gonna be checking who's posting what or whatever. Like I don't look at the post before it goes live, so I want to have a way to know who it is. So all right, so those two changes have been made, and then we cleaned up the data, so now it's like I'll leave my sample one on. Maybe I'll delete it and then add a different one. Just inviting people to do what they want. I want to try to fix this. This is parent groups, questions, owner's profile, picture processed with. Right. I'm going to see if that works better. Oh, I guess I'm not logged in on my. This is the dev version.
The version.
So I'll just deploy. Why not? That should change. I should say question, and that does look better than it did. It's not perfect, but it does look better.
I'm trying to remember what you did. Did you just like raise it?
I just went in here. I processed with, I don't even know how to say that.
IMGIX.
I made the quality 100. I clicked to auto enhance the image, and I said to resize to fit the dimensions by cropping.
Oh, nice. Yep.
So I'm satisfied with those changes. It's a little better.
Sweet.
But I want to delete this question and add sort of a welcome question for people. So there's something on the page encouraging people to leave their questions. And then Kim, we need to put this back on your list to check before office hours every time.
You got it.
Thank you. All right, so data, app data, live data. All right, so this is the question that I did. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to come in here and I'll add a question.
We have a question from Ben.
Sure, I'd love to see your portfolio, Ven. I think, did Ven join us on office hours once before?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I think he's from the Philippines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you want to come on? You can just send him the link.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. So yes, we can check your. That's gonna be where I find comment. Well, that's pretty. My minimalist portfolio.
He said he can't because there are people karaokeing.
That sounds like fun. That reminds me of that
Very
game
Filipino,
that game makers when he came on, and it was like he
Oh,
was
yeah.
having a party. Remember that?
Yeah, he was speaking Portuguese. That was hilarious.
That was great. So personal projects.
So there's a separate site. That's a little confusing. Ah, okay. So those would be these specific projects. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. 500 pesos. You guys use pesos in the Philippines as well?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Pesos are everywhere.
I think Latin America and the Philippines.
Yep. I like the box styling. It's
Yeah.
definitely unique. Uh-oh.
Don't steal my data. Don't steal my identity. All right.
Nice. Is this all built on Bubble or do we know? Oh, there you go. It's a good way to check.
No, it's not.
Gotcha.
But that's okay because he said that this was like up here. This was my first website using HTML, CSS.
Vanilla JS.
Is this built with Bubble? Nope.
Nope. Cool. Interesting.
Yeah.
Vanilla JS.
So I guess my first impressions are it's really pretty. So I like that. I think animations on the page can be cool, but they can also be overdone. And maybe more subtle. This is really huge.
Yeah.
Like this is a really huge menu. What were you saying something, Kim?
No, I forgot to mute myself and
Okay, no worries. Yeah, so this like I'd probably make this smaller. I think you're trying to fill up the space, which kind of makes sense, but this feels, I don't know, like a caricature. It's so big.
Yeah. You want to be drawn to the actual portfolio, not the text.
Yeah. So minimalist portfolio. Then I have to click here.
There you go.
The animation there is nice that it slides in. I like that.
It's good styling for sure.
Yeah. You've got taste.
Nice. I like that. I really like the boxes he has there. The tabulets.
You
Carved.
like this?
Yeah, the design he has made for each shoe.
I think everything's big.
Everything does seem pretty big for sure.
Let's see how it does on a smaller screen. So it's responsive, so that's good. But I think on a screen as big as mine,
It might be built for mobile. It almost seems.
yeah.
It's cool though. It's responsive. It's pretty good.
But you lose a shoe.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like
You don't
there's
want
no,
to
you don't see both
You
shoes.
lose the shoe. That is funny.
Yeah, you lose a shoe. But I mean, it's definitely responsive, so that's great. I
Yeah, that's
mean,
great. It's killer.
I think you need a maximum width though, and then you need to have borders on either side. Because on a 32-inch screen, this my eyes don't comfortably see like both sets of writing here, here and here. It just seems too big.
I like that though. It looks good. It's
Yeah,
stylish.
it does. And these little animations I really like.
Yeah.
Like the ones on the other, like on your portfolio itself, where it like pops up. Maybe slow those down a little bit and then it won't be so jarring. But these are not jarring, and it definitely like adds to the page that it's moving. I like it. Yeah, and then this is just way too big. So it looks better to me like at a normal screen size than it does a big screen size. So I'd make a maximum width. Probably about this width is what I would make maximum. Let's see. Oh, he says I don't know how to pronounce that. Gepit website is the one that was made in Bubble.
Mm,
So let's go
gotcha.
back and look at it.
Yeah, the ones that anything
This
sells for
one.
500 pesos. Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Looks good.
Yeah.
I like it. He's definitely a designer.
Yes, for sure. Then you've been checking out Made with Frames lately. Like, have you heard of it?
I would move that September 3rd and sample box to align perfectly with the sell and item, but that's just me.
Ah, yeah, move it in.
Align everything.
Yeah.
Oh, but that looks good right there. I like that. That doesn't look bad. Maybe move the title. It's all really good though. I wonder how long it took him to build all this using HTML, CSS, and the rest of the other languages.
There's some funniness happening with the buttons for
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
responsiveness, but
I see what you mean.
I mean, it takes a while to build stuff out. Even simple stuff can be a little time consuming, especially if you're new to it.
He said he hasn't checked out Made with Frames yet.
Gotcha. Yeah, so Made with Frames is pretty cool. I was pretty impressed. We were doing some playing around with it the other day. So you install the extension, Made with Frames extension, and then oh shoot, I forget my sign up and I didn't use my vault for it. I wonder why it does that. It doesn't remember me. Like Canvas, the extension remembers me. I don't have to log in again.
I was kind of dabbling a little bit with Canvas. I noticed Canvas, there's like a specific group where when you add a block,
Yes.
it falls into that group.
Yep.
I
That's
don't
true.
remember seeing that when Made with Frames. Is that the same?
No, it isn't. It's very different. So Made with Frames is you're copying it to your clipboard and you're pasting it.
Oh,
Whereas Canvas is actually doing all of that for you and placing it very specifically on the page. So everything's organized and they can, yeah, everything's organized the way that they're supposed to be and stacked exactly. Because that was the other thing is when you copy and paste, you can't stack things. Whereas everything comes stacked for you when you're importing from Canvas. So. Not that I mean, I think the two products are so completely different. Like
Yeah.
I'm not even comparing them. So. But definitely I think my sandboxes will look a lot nicer with Made with Frames. It's like, for instance, on my, like even just on the repeating groups page here, like I'm not using a Canvas page, right? So I could,
Oh,
I can recall my login, I can sign in and then I can use Made with Frames to do something quick and easy, but still looks nice.
Those guys are on fire.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Okay.
And yeah, I really want to see how like
Branch
I want to
off.
see like what the premium is going to look like, right? Because there's definitely a premium coming, so that there's a paywall for some premium features, and I want to see what that's all about.
It'd be really cool to turn this into like a library of different design types. I'm sure they're already doing that. It seems like what I've seen so far, they're sticking to one. It's a young.
Yeah, it's tricky. They've talked about doing that with Canvas too, like having different because Canvas is like one very particular style.
Yeah.
Right now, which is great because everything is consistent and it looks great out of the box. But it'll be cool. It would be cool to see if they came up with a different style, but was still had the components of Canvas. But I don't. That's gotta be just such a massive, like, the option at this point is going deep with Canvas as it is, or going like, when do you choose to go deeper or when do you start widening, right? Because that would be a horizontal growth.
It sounds like Made with Frames is in a better position to branch out into that sort of thing, just based off of the way AirDev has set things up.
Yeah, and I mean the two businesses, right? So if you just think of AirDev as a business and then Greg John's Build Camp or Made with Frames as a business, Made with Frames is not supporting agency work, right? Canvas is available to the public for purchase, but it's the engine that runs AirDev's agency, right? Like all of their devs are experts in Canvas and they all build in Canvas. And it basically means that you can get an app with, I would have no problem saying, I know I heard it underpriced at like $25,000 to $50,000 worth of like stuff in that template, like design and dev work in that template. I think that's underselling it in terms of what you get out of the box with it, right? So like all of our clients that come to us and they're just wowed what they can get with a couple weeks worth of development. But the reason they can get it in a couple weeks worth of development is because we build on Canvas.
Yeah, everything's set up for you.
Yeah.
Fast pacing. Yep.
So, yep. Well, I hope that was helpful, Ven. And thank you for giving us something to talk about. I appreciate it. I think we'll go ahead and wrap up office hours for this evening, unless you had something else, Thomas?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Yep. So we're going to be back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and it's going to be a special episode with Cameron Wilder Booth. He's going to be joining us. He's going to be talking all about the API connector and API calls, and specifically Google APIs. So if you are interested in learning more about that, then do come. If you have questions about your own API connection, connector with connecting various different APIs, we don't promise we'll have the answers. We promise you won't suffer alone. I've done my fair share of suffering with people over APIs in the past, but Cameron has made that jump from struggling to actually producing 2 apps that are heavily based on the API calls that he makes. And it's pretty fantastic to watch the growth that he's made in just a few short months. And he's going to come and help you shorten your learning curve so you don't have to suffer as much as he did. So looking forward to that. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you would like a complimentary session of CoCreative NoCode's office hours, so you can join us and ask questions and participate in that session, please do email us at team@cocreativenocode.com, and Kim and I will get you some credentials so you can join us tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here, Thomas, as usual, and Kim, and I'll see you both in the morning.
See ya.